Hello and welcome to Bobo's Hobby. In this video I will be building some Tyranid specimen tubes with resin and LEDs. The main kit that I'm using will be this Sector Imperialis objectives from Games Workshop. I'm using the Tyranid tank and these bombs here. Fancy brushes come with a plastic tube and the ends don't have any print on them. I always save them for projects like this. And this is all the parts that I'm using. Unfortunately, one of the clear plastic part had turned a bit milky and I wasn't sure if this would affect the end result or not, but I think it turned out okay in the end. This is a gene stealer leg and an arm from a spare gene stealer that I had laying in my bed box. This is the gene stealer that came with the tank and also a spare ripper for some variation. I glued the bombs and cut them into two parts. And I dremeled the inside to be able to fit in the brush tube. Here I'm just soldering some wires to 3mm white LEDs. And checking to see if they will fit inside and if they will be hidden. It's time for a little light check. And I just realized that this looks like a gene stealer lava lamp. The tanks were a lot simpler since the model already had a hole that almost fit the LED right out of the sprue. A dab of super glue and then some green stuff to make sure of its position. When fixing LEDs in my terrain I always use green stuff. This is all the parts before painting. I sculpted a new tail and tongue for the ripper to make it more dead looking. I also sculpted some fleshy bits on the end of the arm and leg. Before painting, I masked off all the bits that I wanted to clear and then proceeded to paint all the metal parts metal and all the Tyranid parts Tyranid. You can check out my previous videos for colors and technique on how I paint these. Just remove the masking tape. And glue it together with some super glue. glue the arm and leg in place, I used UV resin and some pigments. The idea here was to make it look like the tank water had separated, and this is also to prevent the parts from floating up when the resin will be poured later. So far it's looking quite promising. It's time to mix the resin. There are numerous brands out there, but for this project I'm using this resin, which is volume based. So it's very important to measure carefully. And mix thoroughly and slow to prevent some air bubbles. I colored the resin with some weathering powders, and the trick here is to use the tiniest amount because a little goes a long way and it's super easy to overcolor your resin. And then I use a dropper to fill the tanks with the colored resin. And that's it. Now it's time to put them away so that they don't attract any dust while drying. And now we wait 24 hours. Finally, we glued the lids on the tanks and call it done. These will of course be in a space hog room later, but I'm saving that for another video. So stay tuned and I will post that as soon as it's done. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.